All right, everyone, welcome back to the Be Healthy and Thrive podcast. My name is Brianna Wilkerson from Made Well, holistic health and life coach and essential oils advocate. And today, this whole month, I've been really talking about the benefits of a program like the Whole30 Made Easy program. And just before we get started, I have a guest here, Maria Israel, who did the Whole30 with me, and I'm going to have her share her testimony. But if you're new and you're not familiar with what the Whole30 is, it is just an elimination diet where you are eliminating certain foods that have been known to be problematic. And really what it does is give you power to be able to make food choices and know what's good for your body. And so thanks so much for joining us, Maria.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm looking forward to giving my testimony.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you, what you do, but then tell us also why you chose to do the Whole30 program.
Well, just like your story, I've always had an issue with food, and I didn't have a good relationship with food. And from a child, I've always struggled. And I think from a child, I used food as a comfort. I was adopted as a child, so I was in foster care and I was going to lots of different people. And I think it started from then that food was my comfort, and it just stayed with me. But as I get older, you can't eat the way you would as a 21-year-old. So I've tried lots of different ways to keep my weight down, but none of it comes naturally, so I'm always working at it. How can I keep my weight down, because it was slowly creeping up and it was getting really worrying as I get older. And then, there's a lot of other side effects if you put weight on as well, isn't there? That can happen. So, yeah, I was just really worried about it and I had to do something about it, So I was introduced to the Whole30 from you. Sorry, did it cut off for a bit there? Yeah, you introduced me to the Whole30, and at first I thought, I don't know if this is going to work. I was worried about failing, but I'm so glad that I took the challenge, and it really changed my life. And I just loved the idea that I could feel satisfied on good food, so on whole food and things that are good for me. And yeah.
So how was it like going through, because the Whole30 Made Easy, my program, 6 weeks. How was it like? What are the sort of things you learned along the way, the struggles that you felt, and kind of how you overcame it, or the program helped you overcome
it? Was just so interesting to give up certain foods and to learn why I was giving up certain foods and what they did to my system, It was a little bit scary at first, the first couple of days I didn't feel myself because it's like I gave up so many things, but in the same breath I still felt good, and as the days went on I just felt better and better. And yeah, I just felt so much more, had more energy, and I just felt good from eating whole food. And I learned a lot about food, about how food affects you. And it was good to be in the group with other members as well, so we could, take ideas from each other and find out how each other was getting on. So that really helped being part of a group. I couldn't have done it by myself.
Yeah, and that's the power in group, right?
It really helped.
Yeah. So what would you say were some of your results? Like when you finished the 30-day program and just finished, how do you feel now, like going through it?
Well, I'm not going to go back to dairy because I realized that dairy was causing me to have eczema. And when I reintroduced it, the eczema came back. So that proved that dairy was a factor in that. So I'm not going to go back to dairy. So that helps. I gave up Diet Coke. That was my big thing. I couldn't believe that I could live without Diet Coke, but I haven't had Diet Coke for more than 8 weeks or so now. So that's good as well. I'm not going to go back to that. And yeah, and it's kept the big thing as well, it's kept my weight stable as well. Because I was doing Weight Watchers before, so I was always getting weighed. And I didn't get weighed for 5 weeks while I was on the program, and my weight was it didn't go up, it was stable throughout. So that's a good thing. And I felt satisfied on the things that I was eating. And the book, you know, the Whole30 book was brilliant, because you can make things like tomato ketchup, pesto from whole ingredients, you know, and I thought that was fantastic. That it wasn't like the regular stuff that had all the sugar in and the this in and the that in, you know. I could have whole normal regular things, you know. So that was important as well. The book really helped.
Yeah, and I think I love how I know we were talking recently and you were saying that you feel like food no longer has control over you.
Yeah.
Like you have control over food, and that's powerful.
Yeah, with the right foods. Yeah, that's what made me feel so powerful, that I could eat whole food, and you know, that was the big thing for me.
Yeah, and
it's important not to have all that other stuff in it.
Right, and I love your goal, because I know people may be listening and be like, "Oh, she didn't lose weight." Like your goal wasn't to lose weight; it was just to change your health and just really
maintain my weight.
Yes, and I love that the Whole30 does that for people. Some people will lose weight and some people won't. It depends on what your body needs, but it's about really gaining control of your health and relationship with food. And I love that you did that so well on the program.
Yeah, it's really changed my life. I'm so glad I did it. There was a lot of resistance in the beginning, you know, Oh, I'm going to fail at this. It's not going to work for me. But I'm so glad I did it. Because, I've got that for life now. I can hold on to that for life. And, you know, just eat good stuff.
Yeah. And so
we owe it to ourselves, don't we?
Yeah, we do. So what would you recommend to those who are thinking about doing something like this? What advice would you give them?
It's well worth it. It's well worth it, you know, especially those that struggle with food, you know, in some way, like you have and I have, and you know, and this program can really sort out your food issues, because it did for me. Awesome. So I just think
And how's it been after? I know we were talking about life after the Whole30, right? Like what are the things that you've been feeling and going through?
I'm just so mindful of what I eat, you know. I'm still checking labels, and I'm still mindful of that I want to eat whole things. It's so important to me, you know, to eat good, nourishing things for my body. It's worth it. You just feel so much better.
Yeah, agreed.
You feel so much better for it. And it doesn't mean that you can't have regular things anymore, you know, that you got to miss out on parties and stuff, and you know, but you know what's best for you, and you know what to go back to, you know, you just go back to what's good for you. But it doesn't mean that you can't have something at the weekend, have a treat, have some of someone's birthday cake, or you know, you just know what's best for you and you go back to it. So and it as I said, it sorted out my eczema problem. That was a big thing.
So
it was worth it. It was worth it for that, you know, just to show that the food that I'm eating is making me ill, you know. So I don't need to go to the doctor and get a prescribed medication for that anymore. It's because giving up the dairy has done it. So that was worth it.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is that a lot of time we're facing things in our body that we don't recognize is linked to food. So it's almost like, let's try the natural way of changing our diet to see if it's that. And if it persists, then we can go get some
medication.
So thank you so much for joining and sharing your testimony.
I just recommend it to anybody. Give it a try. It's well worth it, you know, just to see how food affects you. And it does. You know, just to make you feel better, give you more energy to face life, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's so important. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for
You're
joining.
welcome.
And just to anyone listening, if you're interested in testing the Whole30, please go to the link that's in the blog post in the show notes. I have kind of formatted the program a little differently now, where you can enter in kind of at any time. And so definitely go check it out, and if you have questions on it. But you've heard from Maria, you've heard from me so far, that it is definitely worth it. So thank you so much again, everyone, and thank you, Maria. And we will talk to you soon. All right. Bye.